Then he'd say, "Go to bed, Fitz." And then, that one night 6 weeks ago, something different happened. My phone pinged. It was Cassie. "What are you doing?" "Sleeping," I messaged back. "Clearly," Cassie replied. I could imagine that teasing look in her eyes as she thumbed at her phone. Somehow she had this look. She has this look. Cassie can tease you without smiling. She just does it with her eyes. She never smiles. At least, if she does smile, I've never seen it. Before I could answer, another message came. "Been practicing?" I told her, until the neighbours complained. Again. "Surprised you can't hear me from where you are." That might have been stretching things. Cassie lives on the other side of the park from us. Her house backs onto it, just like ours does, but it's a big park. And our two sides of the park are worlds away from each other. Worlds away. "I'd be happy if I could hear you," Cassie replied. "Anything to drown out that sound." "What sound?" I replied. "That humming. You can't hear it." "What humming?" I asked. "Seriously, you can't hear that." "Hear what?" I messaged again. There was no reply for a few minutes. I thought, God, I've gone and upset her somehow. I tried to tell myself not to be so paranoid. Then I wondered why Cassie was messaging me in the middle of the night. In my mind, I imagined walking across the park, in the dark, from my house to hers. We weren't really that far apart, but in lockdown, Cassie might as well have been on the far side of the moon. I wondered if she was only sending messages to me late at night, or if she was messaging George and Francis too, the other members of our band. Just as I was wondering that, my phone pinged again. "Never mind," said Cassie's message. I didn't know what to reply and I felt stupid. "Think of something to say," I told myself. "Why aren't you funnier? Like George. People like funny people." Then there was another ping. "I've been talking to the guys," Cassie texted. So it wasn't just me she'd been messaging. I felt emptier inside. Cassie messaged again. "Want to try a new sort of sound?" "Sure," I replied. I'm only the drummer, right? And I had no idea, really, but I wasn't about to say, "No, Cassie, I don't want to try a new sort of sound." "Neat," she said. "I've been working on some stuff." "At least someone's made use of lockdown," I replied, which I thought was pretty funny. I waited for a reply, but I didn't get one. She'd gone. I turned the light off and lay there in the dark. I tried to hear the sound Cassie had talked about, the humming noise. I couldn't hear anything, apart from that endless silence, if you can hear silence. I wondered what Cassie had meant by a new sound, and how Francis was going to like that. Francis is in my year at school, and he started the band. He made himself lead singer. He named it. Scott, he called the band, because his surname is Scott. It's a terrible name, but no one could come up with anything better. So Francis said anyway. Francis knew George played a bit of bass, knew I'd got a new drum kit for Christmas. When I say new drum kit, I don't mean brand new, I mean new to me. It was second hand, of course, but I told Dad I loved it just as much as if it had been brand new, and that was true. I haven't forgotten Dad's face when he rolled up the garage door that Christmas morning. We were both shivering in our dressing gowns in the street looking like idiots. Dad shouted, "Ta-da, your new kit!" His face was all excited, but nervous too in case I didn't like the present. I could see that. And I was all ready to put on an act and say, "Yeah, Dad, I love it." But I didn't have to act. It was brilliant. So about 18 months ago, Francis came up to me and George one day after school. He said he was forming a band and he needed players. Francis was going to...